Hello again, and thanks for tuning in. How do we make work meaningful? At its best, coaching helps people make a complete connection between someone's deepest desires and ambitions and work or other activity which allows those desires to be fulfilled. Coaching can help people discover the sweet spot that emerges when we consider questions such as, what are you good at? What do you enjoy doing? What can you be paid or rewarded for? And what do people in the wider world want or need? We make these connections, then come up with plans to bring them to reality in the experience of the people we work with. Now, it's clearly self-evident that people do their best work when they're doing what they most enjoy, can do well, and which provides some wider benefit that we can all celebrate. But what if the ideal work that you are looking for simply isn't there? What if you have to find or stay in work that doesn't enable you to meet your deepest longings and ambitions? As we go into a recession, it's not just the number of job openings that reduce, but also the kind of work that's available. What can help us stay motivated with respect to work we are training for, work we're staying in, or work that doesn't meet our ideals? How, in short, can we make our work meaningful? Well, here are 3 G's, or to be more specific, BG's, that can, if you choose to apply them to yourself, make a significant and positive difference to your experience of work. The first is be grateful. By this I mean more than a vague sense that I should be grateful because things could be worse. Be specific. What are you grateful for with respect to the work that you're doing, work you're training for or retraining for? Something as simple as making a gratitude list can be extremely powerful, particularly if you go back to it regularly and articulate it out loud and, ideally, to someone else. When I start work, I'm grateful for what? You can express this both positively and negatively. What negatives is your job keeping you from experiencing? Where would you be without it? What are you grateful for that you don't have to face up to? We can take further this thought of being grateful by comparison. We can usually say we're grateful because there are people worse off than we are, but if you're in paid work, you know people who aren't. You can add a further dimension of meaning to your job by being generous. One of the ways we find fulfillment in life in general is to be part of a cause that is greater than just ourselves and our own well-being. Being generous helps meet a deep-seated need in all of us, the need to make a difference beyond ourselves. So why not decide to give some of your earnings or training allowance away to help people who are worse off than you? Help them to be slightly less worse off. And it doesn't have to be a huge amount. I know of one person who was really quite hard up, but who decided to be generous by giving away 1/4% of their salary increase. If your act of generosity, however small, is being aggregated with other small acts of generosity, then the combined impact is what will make a difference. And your generous act is enabling you to participate in a shared endeavour to ease the difficulties of other people. You are more than a worker or a trainee in an organisation. You're a giver, and one who is part of a mighty army of givers. And it's the situation you are in now that is giving you the opportunity to be that person and to make a difference. Grateful, be generous, and thirdly, be gregarious. Whatever work we do involves contact with other human beings. What opportunities do you have now to invest in new relationships at work or beyond? And I stress the word invest. In the same way we put money into savings to see the capital grow over time, we have what could be called relational capital. We invest in building relationships, both because this is worthwhile in its own right and because there is quite possibly a return on that investment in the future. Our experiences of lockdown and of being in a recession provides a good reason to contact people we've lost touch with. We have a shared experience. It gives an opportunity and an excuse to reach out to people to build our relational network. And in the future, who knows what opportunities that may bring. So let's be honest, doing work that's challenging, doesn't play to our greatest strengths, and that we wouldn't, in an ideal world, choose to do, is tough. But as human beings, we have this amazing power to make choices. Choices about how we manage the tough periods and experiences of life. And whatever life stage we are in, we can, to some extent, always choose to be grateful, to be generous, and to be gregarious. What else is helping you? In a time when it's harder for me personally to meet people, I'm grateful for the opportunity to share these podcasts and for the kind responses of people who like, download and comment on them. So once again, thanks for listening.